Hey friends, I wanted to talk to you about some paper flowers. One of my favorite things to learn about during Hispanic Heritage Month is the Day of the Dead festival in Mexico. So I have a picture of the globe here with, you can see in green is highlighted the country of Mexico, the United Mexican States. From what I understand about the festival of the Day of the Dead is that traditionally people believed that their ancestors would come back on one day of the year and their spirits would walk the earth again. And they were supposed to welcome those spirits and get their graves and stuff ready. One of the flowers that they used to decorate was the marigold. It's a Mexican flower. And you can see here that they use the marigolds to decorate the ofrenda. They'll decorate with things that the dead people liked, drinks, food, things to get ready for their spirit to walk in this world, and then they line the paths back to the grave areas with marigolds so that their spirits can go back to where they belong to rest after they are done walking. As an artist, when I look at this festival, I see a celebration of color and a celebration of life. You're going to see flowers in different cultures throughout the world as a representation of life and death, because flowers in their beautiful freshness of the bud and when they open and they have that fresh beautiful bloom on them, that's representing our birth and our life. And then when you see the flower get all shrivelly and brown, like that sort of is a way to represent any kind of living thing's life, but theirs happens so quickly. You'll see flowers in Dutch paintings in the museums. You'll see them here in the Mexican Day of the Dead festival, and if you go to a funeral, you will see them here in the United States. I'm going to show you how to make one of these pretty flowers. I have a straight edge just to make things a little bit easier. This is actually a special kind called a T-square because it looks like the letter T. Got some scissors, which I will always try to use safely. One of these like things that come on a bread bag, one of the twisty ties, or they also, I've seen them come in the garbage bags, and some tissue paper. So I've got my different colors of tissue paper. You don't have to have different colors, I just think it makes a pretty flower. And I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers here. And I'm sorry about the crinkling sound. That is just a occupational hazard of tissue paper. It's very crinkly. All right, I'm going to cut myself about, not cut myself, but I'm going to cut my paper about 12 inches. So on our ruler, you can see where's the 12 inches. Whoops, here we go. I'm having a hard time because this is like goofy to look at yourself in the mirror. But 12 inches is, if you start at the 0, it actually takes up the entire T-square of mine. So I'm going to make my marks on my paper. And a T-square is cool because it's sort of, do you see how it's hanging on to the edge of that paper? You can see a little bit more clearly. So it hangs onto the edge and it helps you get a right angle. And a right angle is a 90-degree angle, which is a very nice corner. So I'm going to just make a little mark like, okay, here's my 12 inches. And then I'm going to take the T-square and mark a 12-inch spot this way. And you can do any size you want, but whatever size you choose, you have to do a square, which means a square is the same inches on every side. So this is a 12-inch square, I got my mark going. And see, that's not perfect, but I'm not going to cry. This isn't something that needs to be exactamente. I think I just made that word up. Okay, I've got my 12-inch by 12-inch thing drawn. Put my pencil down. Now I'm going to pick up all of my papers at once. So all my papers in my hand, and I'm going to hold them real tight so that they're not slipping. And with scissor safety, and you might need help with this step because it's big, but I'm going to make sure I'm cutting all my layers nice and easy. Just keep a good grip on your other paper. And I'm going to cut right on that guideline that I made. So 12 inches that way. And I'm going to turn this baby around and cut 12 inches this way. Gosh, I am such a weirdie, but I love the way paper feels when I'm cutting it. Okay. Now I've got my 12 by 12 stack, because these guys are still stacked. I've got 5 of them here. I think that should be enough. Now, this already happens to have a fold just about in the middle. And you can see that it has folds this way. Well, I think I'm going to keep doing some folds. I'll make my folds go that direction so that these will blend in a little bit. But right now is when you're going to do a fan fold, a fan, like a... You're going to take the edges of your paper and fold it up and away from you. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that the edges that you folded line up with the paper, line up parallel. They're not going to be like crunched up that way, because you can see, oh dear, that's not a straight fold. You want them to be lined up. So make my fold here. And these folds are going to be about, let's see, my fold here measures out to be 1.5 inches. For little fingers, that might be all you can do. Now I scoop up the side closest to me with my thumb, so I just go like scoop underneath and pick it up and pinch it, and then I face it down and turn it back over. So it's a nice little movement. You can see that my edges are parallel again. I know it's straight, so now I can fold. And now I'm going to scoop under this way so that I can fold my fan back. So it's basically you're folding back and forth, back and forth. I always show kids this. It's like a wiper blade, kind of like back this way, back this way. So you're just folding into that paper. So you'll keep flipping it and folding on top of that paper. Flip. Fold. Okay, so when you have folded it all, it'll look like a bookmark shape. And if you put it sideways like this, you can see that you folded an accordion. Now with this in the middle, or you got to find the middle of this now. And the best way, I think, to find the middle of anything, I know a math teacher would probably say, oh, well, you should measure it. You should measure it. Well, okay, but I'm a cheaty type of person, so I like to fold to find the halfway mark. Whoops. Jeez, I just shot that at myself. Okay, so I found my halfway point. I just gave it a real gentle fold, and I'm going to slip my twisty tie underneath of it and bring up the edges of the twisty tie like this, and I will twist them around each other. 1, twist, 2 twist. Ow, that sharp twist. Okay. And so now it looks like, ow, my golly, these are sharp. Be careful, friends. These wires are metal and these guys are very sharp. You can't see what I'm pointing to, but yeah, it's sharp. Okay, so now you have sort of an hourglass or a bow tie type shape. And this part is where you have to be patient, like a gentle, patient person. You're going to treat this as gently as you would if you were trying to pick off the puffs off of a dandelion one by one. Because these papel picado petals on your flower are very delicate. If you get all like kung fu, ha ha ha, you're going to end up with a ripped up, garbagey looking flower. So save yourself the tears and just do it slow the first time. And why am I telling you this? Because guess what? I was one of those people who have ripped my papel picado because I'm trying to hurry up too much. You gently peel them away from each other one by one. You can see just where's my camera? Gently peel. And mine's going to be a forward-facing flower, so I'm going to make all of my puffs like puff this way, and on the back it'll still look like a bow tie on the back.